All right, as a value investor, Foster Freeze made a lot of money because he could find diamonds in the rough and relay that to people in a very credible and wealth-building way. But those days are behind him. His fortune is set, and now, as a very influential campaign donor who is not committed to any candidate right now, he's sort of surveying the landscape. So Foster Freeze is going to break some news here and tell us who he's committed to. Aren't you, Foster? Welcome. Good to have you.
Well, I would like to say that I spent a little time with Heidi Cruz at a dinner the other night, and what a gracious, loving, kind woman is. I've only met Melanie just briefly, but she's very gracious, intelligent. So I picked my candidates, Neil, on basis of their wives. I mean, I know the influence Lynn had on my life. I was a mess before she got a hold of me.
I can definitely see that. You married up, young man. But let me ask you about that. I mean, the fact that Donald Trump is bringing his wife to Wisconsin, the cynics say, well, he's nervous. He's nervous about losing so much female support. Melania might change that. Do you think that a candidate's wife or a candidate's spouse, in the case of Hillary Clinton, would make a difference, period?
Absolutely. In fact, I encourage every Republican running for office at a fundraiser to have his wife introduce him, because it allows her to give him a more humanesque and kind approach. And I think we could be turning the corner on this civility issue, Neil. In fact, today I'm announcing Foster's return to civility campaign, and I'm intending to ask Ted Cruz and Donald Trump to be my two honorary co-chairmen.
Well, yeah, I think you can wait on that one, Foster. You're a good man, but the fact of the matter is it's been anything but civil. They still exchange nasty barbs about their wives. It's gotten even more so. Do you see that easing anytime soon? Does it influence who you support?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. In fact, the Brussels tragedy, the airport bombing, crowded out something very, very interesting and significant. Most people, I don't think, realize the unbelievable speech that Donald Trump gave to the American-Israeli Public Affairs Committee, AIPAC. And I'm not a surrogate for Donald Trump. I love both these guys. But at that, he spoke off of teleprompters. And it was a very, very presidential
No, you're right. It got
speech.
very good reviews, all that. But unfortunately, people have been more apt to remember the stuff he has said since, ticking off both pro-life and pro-choice folks. I mean, that happens. But he's had a very rough week. Do you think that if he loses Wisconsin tomorrow, he could be in a world of hurt?
Well, the success God's blessed me with has always been based on not so much on a person's past and where he is today, but what he can become. And both Ted Cruz and Donald Trump have enormous capacity and talent.
Who do you like more?
Well, between Heidi and Melanie, I haven't met Melanie that long.
Touche.
I want to get to know Melanie a little bit better before I make that decision.
All right. We'll see what happens. But very influential man of the Republican Party, weighing the candidate's spouses.
Let me just interject a little concern I have, Neil, if I could.
Yes,
all this is crowding out something very sad, that the Kurds are now being gassed with chlorine and mustard gas, and the Islamic State people are using it more often, and our government has only given them 1,000 gas masks, and there's 150,000 Peshmerga who need it. So I'm still on that soapbox.
And you've been looking for candidates to respond to that. All right, thank you very much, Foster. Always good having you.
Bye-bye, Neil.